Forget what you know about the English Pokemon market, because the Japanese market has the insane opportunities at the moment. You won't have to pay double the price to get your hands on some product. Japanese Pokemon cards have incredible quality control, growing demand, and a huge dedicated audience, and it's becoming a booming arena. And every day, more and more collectors are adding Japanese Pokemon cards to their collections, and that's why in this video, I'm going to be going over the 10 best Japanese Pokemon cards to add to your collection. And hopefully they will appreciate over time as well. Now, one argument why a lot of people don't add Japanese cards to their collections is because they say, well, if I can't read the cards, why would I bother? And I actually do get that point of view. However, I can guarantee that that viewpoint will change the second you open some Japanese Pokemon products. And I mean, I'm not saying that as an exaggeration. The stats on Japanese Pokemon cards' quality control is abundantly clear. I mean, let's just take a look at these 3 different cards as examples to see their PSA 10 hit rate. Here we have the Magikarp, the Charizard from 151, and the Pikachu from Surging Sparks and Super Electric Breaker. Check out these wild differences in quality control. Let's start with the Charizard from English 151, which has roughly a 32% chance to get a PSA 10. Whereas the Japanese 151 Charizard has around an 85% chance to get a PSA 10. Or if we're looking at the Paldea Evolved Magikarp currently has a 20% chance to get PSA 10, showing you the poor quality control. So the Japanese version has a huge 92% chance to get a PSA 10. Meaning if you send this card in, it's actually close to guaranteed to be a PSA 10. And even the Pikachu from Surging Sparks, right now as I've made this video, the Surging Sparks Pikachu has roughly a 38% chance to be a PSA 10, whereas the Japanese version from Super Electric Breaker has had 7,566 copies sent in, and out of those, 6,938 have come back as a PSA 10, which makes it have a 91% chance to be a PSA 10. I mean, these are just a few examples, and this is almost always the case. Though as you can see, just from that small sample size, you can just see how stark the quality control difference is, and it can sometimes feel more care and appreciation is placed into Japanese Pokemon cards. Though, moving on to the top 10 cards. Starting at number 10, we have the Espeon and Umbreon Masterball Reverse Holos from Terastal Festival. Now, these are gorgeous, and even though they're not full arts or, the art rares or special art rares, they do make some awesome collectibles. And you know what? Their price points are pretty fair in the market. Right here, I'm on the Umbreon Masterball Reverse Holo, and you can actually see that this has had a pretty big downwards trajectory for where it's going in the market at the moment. Now, you might be saying, whoa, am I buying a card that's just going down in value? Well, you may be, because you do have the kind of guaranteed hit rates. And the card was selling for 376 USD in December, and right now selling for 253 US. Though what's really cool about this card is Terastal Festival may get a lot more reprints as time goes on, because Japanese Pokemon products do have some pretty good reprint windows. Though at the same time, there is a chance that this Umbreon and Espeon may be good pickups for the future. If we look at the Espeon as well, just looking at that graph, you can see that's had a sharp decline. When it kind of released, it was selling for 93 USD, currently selling for around 40 USD, the Japanese copy. Now, this is really interesting, right? Because don't forget, evolutions are still so heavily desired, and they are in a downwards trend. What's so interesting right now is English cards aren't behaving this way, though the Japanese market is a real reflection of how English cards used to be. When cards used to release, they used to be really high in price, just like what you're seeing in this graph here, and then they would calm down in value eventually. Obviously, that's a little bit gone right now, because it seems like if you look at Prismatic Evolutions, so many cards are still climbing in value. So it is good to see that the Japanese market is still quite healthy. Now, moving on to number 9, we have Japanese Pokemon 151. Now, truthfully, Japanese 151 would be lower on this list, though the prices haven't been too friendly lately, and they've been climbing pretty steadily in value. Though one of the reasons why the Japanese 151 is such an awesome set is because it was the first set ever to release Master Ball Reverse Holos, and we can kind of all agree that Japanese 151 is objectively better than English 151 purely because of Master Ball Reverse Holo. Now, moving on to number 8, we have Battle Partners. Now, before I actually dive into Battle Partners, I'm actually super excited to announce that I've teamed up with Bai, and we are giving away a Battle Partners booster box, which is available worldwide. The giveaway entry can be seen in the description of this video. Now, today's video is sponsored by Bai. So if you're looking to purchase some Japanese Pokemon products, Bai actually becomes incredibly useful. Bai is a Japanese proxy shopping service which allows you to have access to some of the most most unique Japanese items and even items that are incredibly difficult to find outside of Japan. So I mean, imagine you really want a specific Japanese Pokemon card or product. That's where Bai comes in. You can just search what you're looking for within Bai and you'll have access to a huge marketplace which includes Mercari Japan and many others. When purchasing through Bai, they will cover the entire purchasing process on your behalf. The items get sent to Bai's warehouse and then the items are shipped directly to you. And Bai ships to multiple areas including North America, Oceania, and Europe. So if you're a huge fan of Japanese Pokemon cards or looking for Japanese specific products, feel free to use Bai. And the best part is that all users get access to a unique 10% discount on their first orders. All the details are within the description of this video. Now, as I was saying with Battle Partners, I mean, the set has such great cards. Like if we're looking at some of the cards that we have here, we have the Volcanion, which is just incredible. You have the Salamence Special Art Rare. You've got Hops Zacian. You know, you've got so many cards within this set. And the best part is that Battle Partners is still super affordable. It hasn't got to those really high price points, which is really good for the market at the moment, because when we're looking at Journey Together, you're gonna have to pay double retail price to get some of those products. But Battle Partners, it's not like that. In fact, it's actually quite good in the price point. Now, moving on to number 7, it is Terastal Festival. So Terastal Festival is the Japanese equivalent of Prismatic Evolutions. And the reason why I really like Terastal Festival and Japanese Pokemon products in particular is because you do have the guaranteed hit rates. Now, Terastal Festival has been at bay with its pricing, I feel. I don't think it's as difficult in pricing as Prismatic Evolutions, right? I mean, Prismatic Evolutions kind of went really wild really quickly, but Terastal Festival still is quite accessible for now. Though don't forget, it is very likely we will get a few waves of reprints if it does follow the same kind of path of Pokemon 151, which, you know, had 2 waves of reprints. The second reprint for Pokemon 151, the Japanese version, was enormous. It literally made prices come way, way down. And I wouldn't be surprised if Terastal Festival also has a similar thing happen, just because it is so heavily desired. And, you know, they've done it before, so they can do it again. Now, number 6, it is Pikachu Masterball Reverse Holo from Pokemon 151. Though what's so awesome about the Pikachu Masterball Reverse Holos for Japanese 151 is that the PSA 10 chances for this card are so high. I mean, right now, the Pikachu Masterball Reverse Holo has had 9,905 copies sent in and 8,465 have returned as a PSA 10, meaning it has an 85% chance to score PSA 10, which showcases the Japanese card's print quality. Even when we look at eBay, you can still see that this is getting good prices, though it hasn't gone out of the realms of common sense, which I think is a good thing. You can see right now here, sold for 290 USD. You can see this one had 23 bids at $255, and you can see this one also had 18 bids of 251. Super stable in the market, and that's why Japanese Pokemon products are so awesome, because they do have some stability. Right now, English can seem a little bit volatile, and that's why I'm really liking Japanese Pokemon products at the moment. Now, also, I just want to say, if you have been enjoying the video and you found it helpful, please feel free to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more content like this. It's always great having new people join the channel. Now, number 5, it is the Japanese Pikachu Special Art Rare from Super Electric Breaker. So I mentioned in the video before how awesome the PSA 10 chances are for this card, though there's also a chance that this card could have a solid future. What I love about this card, and especially Super Electric Breaker as a sealed set as well, is that this card still is quite valuable, and I think because of that, it's definitely a good one to have in your collection, because, you know, Pikachu cards are always desired by collectors, but it is the mascot of the franchise, right? That kind of means that there is a little bit of price stability with these cards. Now, as history has shown us, Pikachu cards usually perform pretty well. I mean, if we look at the Japanese Poncho Pikachus and, you know, the Mario and Luigi promos, they are so heavily desired. So because of that, I wouldn't count any Pikachu cards out, even though they're not promo cards and they don't have, you know, the cross reference with, you know, Mario, which is one of the biggest IPs in the world. Still is Pikachu at the end of the day, and it is a top chase card for a set, so it is one to definitely look out for. Now, also, while talking about all this, if you do have questions on what Japanese products you would like to buy, or you just have general questions, feel free to join my channel's Discord server where you'll be able to ask these questions. I've spent hundreds of hours on creating this Discord to be a simple and easy entry point for a lot of collectors. You can ask questions, chat with the community, and even be involved in Discord exclusive giveaways, feel free to join. The server invite is in the description of this video. Now, number 4 is Heatwave Arena. So Heatwave Arena is the brand new Japanese set, which is going to include half of the English set Destined Rival. I mean, it probably goes without saying though, this set is literally stacked with some winners, and the cards inside this set are incredible. From Cynthia's Roserade to the Rapidash, which is straight up majestic, to Ethan's Ho-Oh and Cynthia's Garchomp, this set is straight up ready to become iconic. Don't forget as well, because a lot of people won't be able to purchase Destined Rivals because of the scalping issues, so this may be somewhat of a reasonable entry point to rip some packs and pull some of these chase cards. Now, number 3, it's the Shiny Treasure Special Art Rares from the Bubble Mew, the Charizard, Gardevoir, and even Iono. Now, the Shiny Treasure chase cards of these special art rares, particularly the Bubble Mew, the Charizard, the Gardevoir, and the Iono, these are really cool. And that Iono was so heavily desired on release. When this card released, it was selling for crazy amounts, man. It has calmed down a little bit in the market at the moment, though. What's really awesome about this Iono is that I still feel it's at a pretty good price point at the moment, given the fact that, you know, it's not the craziest difficult to pull because you do have the guaranteed hit rates, though there is high demand for it, right? So because of that, these are always great. Don't forget, Bubble Mew in English is really doing some wild things. The price is coming down a little bit for top PSA 10 cards. You can even see Bubble Mew's price for the English is going a little bit down, but the Japanese versions with the print quality is an awesome pickup. And you know, these cards definitely will be interesting to see where they go in the future. Now, moving on to number 2, we have Lillies Clefairy. Now, if you're unaware, Lily is the fan favorite. I mean, she's so popular, and some Lillies PSA 10 copies sell for ridiculous amounts. And because of the history of Lily, you know, within the Japanese market, this one does seem like a solid contender. I really like this card. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. What's really interesting, and it is pretty normal to see this, and that's what I mean. Right now, when I'm looking at that graph, you can see Lillies Clefairy has gone down a little bit in value. That's usually what Pokemon cards look like on release, right? It's so rare for them to keep spiking in value, what we're seeing kind of with English sets at the moment. And it is a little bit frustrating that, you know, the English TCG is kind of in this position at the moment. But you can see right here, right? I mean, that was selling for $512 USD on release, and right now selling for $306. I am wondering where the bottom of this card's going to be. You don't want to really be timing the bottom, but given how Lily cards have performed in the past, it's going to be interesting to see this Lillies Clefairy. Right now, Battle Partners booster boxes are really well priced. I think they're really great pickups, but you know, we're going to have to see where this goes in the future. Now, moving on to number 1, it is the Glory of Team Rocket set. Now, Glory of Team Rocket is the upcoming set, which is releasing on April 18th. However, it's pretty clear that we can see that this is going to be one of the most hyped sets ever, especially since it actually has Team Rocket in the title. Like, I think a lot of people forget sometimes how iconic Team Rocket can be. Yeah, and I know it is early. I know we haven't had much details on this set other than it's going to be, you know, a Team Rocket themed set. The fact that the Japanese version has Glory of Team Rocket, I do think we're going to see a similar thing happen with Japanese 151 when that was released in 2023. And you know, it's anyone's guess where Destined Rivals will go, and hopefully Pokemon does up the printing demand before, you know, the scalpers and everything goes. But at the moment, with how the market's going, it's anyone's guess on how things are going to be performing. But you know, as interesting as this is, these 10 were for Japanese Pokemon cards specifically, though if you do want to get some information for English Pokemon cards and which ones are the best investments, I did actually make a video of that right here. Within this video that's appearing on screen right now, I actually go over the 10 best Pokemon cards to purchase at the moment. If you enjoyed this video, then the video that's appearing on screen is a no-brainer. Click the video and I'll see you there.